welcome back to Foundations of Leadership. I'm Aaron Tevebaugh. Today I'm in the studio alone. We're going to do something a little bit different. We're starting a series on book reviews. And so today I'm going to be reviewing You Can't Stop the Growth from Chad Peterman. Now I had a chance recently to sit down and talk to Chad for a little bit about the book. And so I wanted to kind of go over a handful of things, not only about the book, but Chad's journey, his organization, the Peterman Brothers Heating and Cooling, as well as his podcast and some of the other projects that he and the organization are working on. First and foremost, you can see we have a copy of the book here. It's a short read. It's right at about 152 pages. So I want to kind of go through and just break down some of the bigger nuggets so you can digest that and see if it's something that you're interested in taking on as a book project. First and foremost, one of the things I really liked and was really able to compare to our own Foundations of Leadership program was the fact that Chad talks about being people-focused. And not only just specifically developing his staff so they can be the best versions of themselves and make the organization as a whole better, but the Peterman organization is really focused on culture, and they do a lot of work within the organization to make sure that they have a very team-organized, focused culture. Everyone works together, and they're constantly not only developing themselves, but each other. And so it was a really good piece on that overall in the book that I was really excited about. Another piece that I was really able to connect to, or a couple actually, was some Foundation of Leadership material actually being applied within the organization. And the first part of that was the DISC. And so in Foundations of Leadership, we teach the DISC Classic personality profile, which helps us understand ourselves better so we can better understand others and have more effective interactions and relationships. They do a lot of work with the DISC, and when I was able to tour the Peterman organization's headquarters on the south side of Indianapolis, I saw that in person. And so everyone who has an office there has their name plate on the outside of their office. It also has their primary and secondary DISC results. In addition to that, in the main lobby downstairs, they have a large poster of the DISC in the 4 quadrants, and every person in the organization has a magnet with their name and photo on it, and it's placed in one of the 4 quadrants. So you know everyone in the organization what their primary DISC result is, and you can go to that at any point in time, figure that out, and know how to best communicate with them, how they see the world, and that really helps an organization understand its people and be more effective overall. In addition to the DISC, one of the things that they really push is understanding and practice emotional intelligence. And so we covered that quite extensively in the 5-day Foundations of Leadership program. So I was excited to see that, because when you partner that with the DISC, or they work in concert, as I like to say, you can have even more effective relations, you can have more effective communications, and so that works really well together. In addition to those two, though, there was a piece about mindset. And so I've done some work in the past 8 to 9 years with the Arbinger Institute and their outward mindset. We know about having an inward mindset and an outward mindset in that program, but they really take that to applying it to the organization, each other as a whole, of how do we see the world? Is that proverbial cup half full or half empty? And how can we take that and really make mindset a big piece in the organization? Now, one of the chapters I really took interest in was one called Vivid Vision. And Vivid Vision is almost a planning technique, if you will, that the organization has found, and they utilize that to make their strategic plans for year over year and multiple years in the future. But one of the things I thought they did really well with that was they took what was a strategic planning for a business program and were able to apply that into each employee's life. And so they can take that and almost make a personal mission plan or mission statement plan, if you will, for each employee. And the way the Vivid Vision was described is that it helps you walk through not only what your plan would be on paper, but you visualize in your mind serious details about what that looks like at each piece along the way. So in the first point or second point or third point, you actually scribe or journal what that looks like, what people are talking about in that time period, the feelings they have about what's going on. And so it helps you not only create a plan that you can have metrics to meet, but it's also really defining what that culture is going to look like and that culture growth. So really like that piece. One thing they do at the Peterman organization I was really impressed with too is that when mistakes are made, the focus is not on blaming and accountability initially as much as it is on why did this happen and what can we learn from it and move on. So obviously we always have to have accountability in our organizations, but this piece to me seemed like it was more focused on those mistakes of the mind and not the heart. So someone's trying to do the right thing, they're trying to do a good job, but they just make a mistake, it causes an issue. The organizational focus is really not to always come down on those people and make them feel like they failed, but say, hey, this is an opportunity to learn and grow, and this is the culture we want to have. We'll fix this, but we need to know what happened, do a kind of a deep dive, if you will, on that, and make sure that moving forward this doesn't happen again, and we can make the experience for our customer even better next time after we make this situation right. So I was really impressed by that whole focus. In addition to that, for their culture, they seem to hire to fit the culture. And so I think this is important when it comes to organizations, because when you're setting that culture, when you're setting those expectations, when you're setting the language and the piece that you want everyone to follow, it absolutely is possible to tell if someone's going to be a fit for that culture or not just by having a conversation with them, asking some questions that maybe aren't direct to that, but will give you the feedback and the information of how that person reacts in certain situations and if they'll be a fit for your culture. So really impressed with that. I thought that was really well done, and it really seems to me like overall they kind of have multiple puzzles, pieces if you will, that when put together really make up the overall culture of the organization. So, and one of the other pieces that I really liked in the book was where Chad talks about how on Saturdays he will teach classes at their headquarters location to their employees that may not be able to have that availability to come in through the week. And so he teaches a lot of leadership development, a lot of personal development, communication, different types of skills, personal skills that folks wouldn't have access to. And so I think that really speaks volume of a culture, one that's of continuous learning and really wants to be positive and invest in their people overall. So really like that piece of it. In the end, I thought it was a great book, 152 pages, again, very short read, but it was very to the point, gives you the nuggets, the application of those nuggets, some testimonial of the information, and then kind of moves on. So overall, I would say it was definitely worth your time to check out. In addition to the book, Chad also does a podcast called Can't Stop the Growth, which I've listened to a few episodes, and he's had a lot of different types of guests on, mainly focused around their industry, which is in the heating and air and plumbing area, but he does some stuff on personal growth, leadership development as well. So if you like what we're bringing, we intend to continue the book reviews. So go ahead and subscribe to the channel, give the video a like, and leave us some comments about what you liked, what you didn't like, what would you like to see from the future books. So we'll try and bring those to you on a regular basis, and I'll even invite my recent co-host Bill Westfall back to do some of his favorite books in the future as well. So until next time, thanks for stopping by.
Been escorted out of 2 honky tonks already.